once you get to like July 1st, it all kind of changes. Yeah, it changes. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. That's a big one. That was a big one. Uh-huh. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. Just want to let everybody know, although I think people have taken the cue, is it is a buffet today, so we're going to begin the program in about 15 minutes. So if you haven't grabbed a plate, please do so. I don't think it, no, it's too bad. I mean, well, maybe what we should do is move people from some of those slots to parking.
Lynn, is it your birthday?
I think we've got your name. Yeah.
Are you Jim?
Yes, I am. Okay. Nice, Jim. Yo, dude.
Great.
Nice, happy birthday. I like it.
so thin up here. I don't know if I can breathe it. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I stand before you because I don't want to stand behind you.
Give it a speak.
My buddy a couple of kilos.
I don't think I better mention that. Working on now.
Maybe other beer. That's right.
It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Welcome back, Rotarians and guests. Thank you. I think you cut. Nope. I guess it's the volume's just down a little bit today. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our pledge and song. Doug Lowell, there he is. I was looking around. I thought we lost him. So Doug Lowell will be leading us in the pledge, and your grand old flag is Southwest Surgical Associates, University of Arizona, and Harvard Medical School. Doug, hello.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Heart beats true neath the red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or a brag. All acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag.
A rousing rendition. I have a couple of quick announcements to make before Kim comes up. The first is Arnie Jacobson's sister and brother-in-law were in an accident, and his brother-in-law apparently had a heart attack driving the RV, passed away. The RV went off the road, and Arnie's sister she received a lot of broken bones and whatnot. She's in the hospital, so please keep Arnie and his sister in your prayers. Tom Willis, also, we have cards that are going around for Tom. Keep him in your prayers as well. And last, I mentioned last week about Margaret Higgins, she'd been in Australia for a couple of months. She had a seizure, had to get a pacemaker, finally was cleared to be able to fly back, but she had to miss the large club conference, and so she wanted to learn all things Rotary while she was back there. So she sent this picture that she basically had herself wired to program her on how to become the next Rotary president. So now, Kim Adair for our inspiration.
Oh, thanks. Excuse my voice is a little hoarse today, but I'm going to battle through this, so forgive me if it's not perfect. But Brother David Steindl Rast is a Benedictine monk and one of the leading figures in a worldwide gratitude movement. I'd like to share some of Brother David's words from a video called A Grateful Day. You think that this is just another day in your life. It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and being surprised that you have eyes that can open. The incredible array of colors that is offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. Open your eyes. Look at the faces of the people you will meet. Each one has an incredible story behind that face. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. All that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flow together and meets you here, like a life-giving water, if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives us. You flip a switch and there's electric light. Turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water, and a gift that millions and millions in this world will never experience. And so I wish that you open your heart to all of these blessings and let them flow through you, that everyone you meet on this day will be blessed by you, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you, and then it will really be a good day. Thanks.
Awesome job, Kim. Thank you. Next up, Sergeant at Arms, where I know that you're here somewhere. Oh, Chris, did you forget your cue? All right. Chris Dodge from Chris Dodge Entertainment, University of Arizona, is going to take care of introducing our guests. So when he calls out your name, if you'll stand up and kind of do the wave. So.
I was late because I just wanted you to talk about me for a minute, so thanks for that. Not really. I don't like that. Guest of Sandra Johnson. We have two guests of Sandra Johnson. Sandra, you're an overachiever today, right off the bat. So say hello to Steve Ochoa. Hey, Steve. And say hello to Willie Blake. Hi, Willie. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And guest of Michael Manny, his lovely wife, Melissa Manny. Stand up, Melissa. Say hello. I know she's right. Melissa. Hello, Melissa. Come back and see us again. You make Michael look better. And and guest of Marcia. Say hello to Bruce Getz. Where are you, Bruce? Bruce, welcome. And that's all I have. So back to you, sir.
You know, Bruce, you're going to have to join because you'd be Bruce number 6 in the group. So, you know, we're just, you know, populating the Rotary Club. So I want to first introduce or make the comment that Jim Murphy has been our chair of our grants committee, and he was supposed to be the one emceeing this today. And unfortunately, there's some little bug that's been going around for a few years. He is doing okay. I don't know whether he's watching virtually, but Leo Liskey, who has also served on the grants committee, is going to be taking care of emceeing our guest today. But what I did want to do is I just wanted to give a very brief Cliff Notes version on what this committee has done. So there were 22 Rotarians that nominated 31 nonprofits. The committee ended up sending out RFPs to those 31 nonprofits. 19 of them ended up responding. So the grants committee went through, they evaluated the proposals, and they were able to kind of synthesize it down to sort of 5 umbrellas as far as the topics go. Of the 19 proposals that were submitted, after much discussion and debate, they narrowed it down to 9 proposals, and from there, then they narrowed it down to 5 proposals. At that point, the committee went out, they did on-site inspections, had additional questions for the various nonprofits, and ultimately have arrived at the 3 nonprofits that we're going to hear from today. So I'm going to have Leo Liskey come up here to MC this, and please give him a hand for his work on the grants committee.
Thank you. Are we on? Yep. Okay, good. Let me begin by saying reiterate what Bruce said, is Jim Murphy took the responsibility. He is the I'm the tip of the iceberg, or we're the tip of the iceberg, and Jim did the lion's share of the work, so we want to compliment Jim in his absence. I'm going to give you some housekeeping notes, if you will. Voting will be done after the final presentation. There are 3 presentations, obviously. We will tabulate the results and report before the end of the meeting. Of course, our absentee ballots, actually, we've already counted the absentee ballots, so we have them on side. Please vote, excuse me, please vote for just one organization. A couple of the absentee ballots had a couple of notes, so please vote for one. Unfortunately, honorary and family members don't really have a vote, so please don't vote. And Dorina and Carrie have a list of badge numbers if you don't have your badge number. And frankly, if you don't put it down, it's going to be okay. I want to acknowledge the grant committee. If you're here and I say your name, could you stand up for a sec? Ann Lancera, excuse me, Jay Gandolfi, Judy Kagi, Larry Admonson, Hoot Gibson, Hoot's here, Hugh Thompson, Lynette Brewster, Nina Trasoff, Steve Pickering, and as I said, of course, our leader, Jim Murphy. Our first presentation is going to be by the Pima Community College, and Dr. Ian Rourke is representing the college with others with him, and you're welcome to bring him in. Thank you. Yeah, let him sit down with you guys. Ian, you want to just take a chair? Dr. Rourke's continuing focus, I need my glasses, I'm sorry. Dr. Rourke's continuing focus is developing and sustaining curricula, programs, and partnerships that help students be successful participants in the 21st century. He works alongside his team to develop innovative programs that help people realize their college and career dreams. Dr. Rourke also serves on regional, state, and national boards focused on workforce and economic development, and has presented at conferences on the topics of P through 16 reform in career and technical education programs, innovations at state and national conferences. Ian is honored to serve students, business, industry, and community partners as the Vice Chancellor of Workforce Development and Innovation at Pima Community College. If there's others with you, I'll let you introduce them. Yeah. Okay, great. Ian?
And so I'm very honored to be speaking with this group today. And our partnership is with our nonprofit Pima Foundation, and we do have Marcia Euler, our president and CEO, as well as one of our team members from Workforce Development, our program manager of business relations, and that is Carrie Middleton over here at the table. Thank you for joining. As Carrie and members of my team know, I usually don't wear a t-shirt to work. And in fact, this is the first day in 7.5 years of Pima Community College I've worn a t-shirt, but in recognition of the Tucson Classic Car Show, I have to show you this t-shirt. It's just really, really, really phenomenal. And so we have a phenomenal, fairly new partnership. The foundation really supporting our mission in alignment with an organization with which we've partnered, the Gospel Rescue Mission's Center of Opportunity, which is located at what used to be known as the Holiday Inn Holodome off of Palo Verde, if you've not been there. I really wanted to draw attention initially to this term, new models and new majority learners, because that is our focus at Pima Community College in order to fulfill our mission to the community, to you, to your constituents, to those we all serve. The new models refer to things like micro pathways, apprenticeship, which is an oldie but a newbie, dual enrollment, early college models, early disadvantaged youth programming, Pima for Youth, for example. The new majority learners is really our way to recognize and to hold up those we serve. For far too long, the primary constituents at Pima Community College were called non-traditional learners. Those who are working, those who already have kids, those who come from economically and socioeconomic disadvantaged backgrounds, those who were formerly incarcerated, those dealing with behavioral health or addictive issues. Those are our learners at Pima Community College, those that we are meant to serve. But whenever we put non in front of a person, it otherizes them. It lessens them. So we are reforming our language to mean the new majority learner, because all people in need And all people have some issues they're dealing with, and that's who we serve at Pima, and proudly so. Next slide, please. Or do I have the next? At the Gospel Rescue Mission Center of Opportunity, we were asked by that organization to really add one additional service they were lacking, and that was what their clients, their guests needed for economic mobility after they left the Center of Opportunity programming, and that was education and job training. And so in partnership with Pima Foundation and others, we have implemented initially 4 programs of study, 3 of which are occurring now, and building construction technology in a lab is going to be delivered on site to the guests at the Center of Opportunity. These are primary entry-level positions that are related to the Pima County Workforce Investment Board's primary sectors, for which the data show even at entry level, there is more likely than not opportunity for upward mobility, especially with continued education and training at Pima Community College. Each one of these programs is not terminal in and of to itself. Each one of these short-term, not-for-credit programs that we are offering at the Center of Opportunity are an entry point without loss of money or time on the part of the learner to Pima Community College once they leave the Center of Opportunity. Next slide. I'm sure many of you have seen these data. As the activity that we are doing now in those 4 areas over the course of this next year, we have the capacity to serve 150 learners on site, and we have already started, and we'll share a little bit about that. If we are honored to be a secondary beneficiary, we will be able to increase the existing program to meet the needs of up to 200 individuals per year with the current programming that we offer. If we are honored to be the primary beneficiary, our impact will grow to 300 per year, including new programs in the health professions, additional programs in IT, and business education and some other areas. So again, you'll see the 100 additional people with new programming should we be honored to be the primary beneficiary. And in partnership with Tucson Rotary, we will be able to bring to scale 50 individuals to participate in the pre-show activities, 50 volunteers. The day of, we will have 100 volunteers present, and we will commit to selling 2,000 tickets minimally in partnership with Pima and the Pima Foundation. Next slide. I'm going to let you dwell on this photo. I've saved it for real. You can test me afterwards on my own iPhone as a favorite and a reminder of what we are about, which is the people. William is one of our new majority learners, and you can see his story there. Through the culinary programming, we are helping him have a viable career after he leaves the Center of Opportunity. And what we've learned in partnership with the Center of Opportunity is that people of all faiths or none, people of all backgrounds, and people who find themselves homeless and in need of shelter, whether it's because of life circumstances, loss of a job, behavioral health, or addiction, are being served at the Center of Opportunity and are currently being served in our programming, regardless of background. That is an alignment to our mission at Pima Community College, and we are proud to meet the needs of new majority learners. Another individual who some of you have met, named Shannon, she found herself homeless because her home health care job went away and her job was her home. She is already enrolled in our IT programming at the Center of Opportunity, and her new employer is now going to be paying her tuition and fees at Pima Community College in the main IT and cybersecurity program at Pima. Thank you very much for your time and for your consideration.
Two points of information. One is there is a sheet about each organization on your table. So if you want to read along or take a look, please do. And I should have initially said that they have 6 minutes to present. So that's our time frame. They're going to pull in. Next will be Old Pueblo Community Services, and I'm sure they're going for them now. Any questions? Yeah, I can read the bio until... excuse me. Here they come now. Tom Litwicki is the director. Tom has served. Sorry, Tom has served. I'm sorry, I forgot to put my glasses on. Tom has served in the human services field since 1990, with the last 15 years of service to persons experiencing homelessness in Tucson. He currently serves as CEO for OPCS, a not-for-profit community service agency that provides evidence-based housing and support services to persons experiencing homelessness. Tom has a master's degree in counseling and human relations from NAU and is a licensed independent substance abuse counselor. Tom, would you like to come up?
So they said I had a half hour. I've already accomplished my first goal. I didn't trip coming up those stairs. So, well, thank you for having us here. I really appreciate the opportunity. Number one, no matter what today, I want to say that we're grateful for the support and that you have now joined us in ending homelessness in Tucson, Arizona. At OPCS, we have a vision that homelessness in the future will be rare and brief. Right now, that's not the case. We're in the middle of a homeless crisis. It's probably not a surprise to anyone sitting here because you see unsheltered people all across the town. We have seen an increase in unsheltered homelessness like we have never seen in our community before. Unsheltered homelessness has increased over 160% in the last 3 years. So this is something that's really reached a humanitarian crisis. And when we talk about ending homelessness, we also talk about saving lives because over 150 people die unsheltered every year. So this is critical work that we're doing. It's Housing First. I kind of go out and preach the gospel of Housing First everywhere I go. Housing First is the evidence-based approach to ending homelessness. It's been demonstrated in many other communities. There's been large multinational studies done on Housing First, and it's demonstrated again and again to be the most effective way to move people out of street homelessness and into permanent housing and having them stay in housing. What that essentially means, it's a really cool model because all it means is you give housing first. So there's no barriers to housing. The traditional model for dealing with shelter was people had to get a job, people had to get their documents, people had to work on their health, people had to go to classes, people had to learn how to run an apartment, people had to get off drugs and alcohol. They had to do all these things, being the apartment was kind of the goal at the end. And what they found was the people who needed it the most, who had the largest structural problems around health, mental health, addictions, trauma, weren't able to make it through the system and never ended up in the housing. So we've turned it around and said, take the housing from the back end, put it in the front end. The housing is supportive. People can't get their life together if they don't have a place to live. First, they have a place to live, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it works. It's one of those things that when we learned it about 20 years ago, it was like, well, no duh, that's obvious, right? Why were we ever doing it a different way? So that's Housing First. It's not the most common model still used in our community, but basically we're able to get about 3 times as many people into housing and about twice as many remain in housing since we switched to this model about 8 years ago. The problem we have is there's a lot of gaps in every model. And so the funding that we get is typically from a government source or from donors or individual supporters in the community. And the challenge with that is that there are a lot of things that are not covered under the government grants or typical grants and contracts. So there's all these gaps. If I'm going to move into an apartment, do I have beds for my children? I could move into an apartment, but I have a past due utility bill and I can't get the electric turned on until I pay the past due utility bill, and no one's going to cover that expense. I could get a job, but it's a construction job and I will need to have basic tools and boots before I could show up on the workplace. So there's all these small little barriers that aren't covered. So about 6 years ago, we said, we're going to start something called the Home Fund, and it basically covers all those gaps. So the Home Fund makes it so that if you need something like that that's getting a barrier in the way of moving to permanent housing, we know we can cover it no matter what. So we're not going to let a 200 bill get in the way of us being able to leverage and utilize thousands of dollars of federal money to move someone into an apartment. So it's just that last gap piece. I think I need to point it somewhere. They said to the right, and I didn't. Oh, okay. What have we done with it? So last year we had 250 households that were served in there. 100% goes directly to those in need, so there isn't an admin cost to this. This is gap funding, goes directly to people who need it the most. 62% of that money last year was to permanent housing, so that's getting someone a lease, helping them with deposits. Administrative fees now for people to apply can be up to $300. And that can be shelter services. A lot of people show up at our low barrier bridge shelter, which we accept anyone based on their need, so they don't have to be eligible in any other way, just based on their need. They don't have to be sober. All they have to do is want to be able to get out of shelter and make their life better, and we'll accept them. Some of them don't have any funding, so we cover that if there's no funding for their shelter beds, if there's supplies. And then 18% was unemployment. We expect, with the way things are going now, when you look at 164% increase in unsheltered housing, we expect that we're going to see this need increase dramatically over the next 3 years. That's why we came here trying to get resources for the home fund, and hope it's a good fit and makes sense. It's for me what makes the difference. It's horrible to have people out there that all for about a few $100s could get into an apartment, but can't for that small amount, and this makes the difference. So that's it. Thank you very much. Are you from Chicago? Pennsylvania. Thank you.
All these tall people. Back down to earth. Our next presentation is going to be from Big Brothers Big Sisters. Marie Logan is representing them. Marie Logan began her career with Big Brothers Big Sisters over 25 years ago, serving as vice president of Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters in Prescott. She has served as executive director of Big Brothers Big Sisters in Helena, Montana, and in 2012 accepted the position of the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Arizona. Marie's experience as a big sister to three little sisters has inspired her and motivated her to dedicate her career to furthering the mission of the agency and of obviously mentoring youth. Maria serves as a chairwoman of the Big Brothers Big Sisters Agency Alliance and served as co-chair of the National Leadership Council for 3 years. Locally, she is on the advisory council of the University of Arizona's Francis McClellan Institute for Children, Youth, and Family. Marie?
Yeah, I can't click and talk at the same time. Thank you. I see you. Okay, great. Thank you for having me here today and having Big Brothers Big Sisters here today. We know Tucson Rotary has a long history of mentorship through your Build the Future program at CE Rose several years ago and your program at Robson Elementary School. And today, I hope you choose to continue that history by partnering with us. Big Brothers Big Sisters has been mentoring and helping youth in Tucson for almost 60 years, and decades of research tells us that youth mentoring works. It promotes healthy attitudes and relationships and prevents risky behaviors like drug and alcohol use. Those risky behaviors and poor choices that can lead to a lifetime of devastating consequences for the child, families, schools, and our community. So let me ask you something. If you think back through the years, do you remember someone who took you under their wing and mentored you? Was it a teacher, a relative, maybe a coach? This person who, for no other reason than caring, made it known to you that you were worthy and important. I bet even though it's been decades, you still remember how this person made you feel and how this person sparked your imagination and let you see yourself in a whole new way. We know when youth are paired with mentors who are accepting of who they are, regardless of where they live or what their circumstances are, it changes how they feel about themselves. They begin to feel valued and have their own sense of self-worth, and they begin to dream of bigger things. When a mentor shares their own love of life and success and encourages a child to see their own possibilities, that not only changes the child's life, it changes their future and has the potential to change generations. Our Mentor 2.0 program combines mentoring relationships and in-school classwork, preparing kids to graduate on time with a plan for their future. To put it simply, our work prepares high school students to become contributing, successful members of society. Each student has asked to be in the program and will be mentored for 4 years of high school. Our team is in the classroom every week, teaching skills not always taught in school, things like career exploration, financial literacy, and goal setting. And the mentor and student communicate about the lessons through an online portal. And once a month, we host the mentor and student at the school for dinner and activities, giving them the opportunity to reflect on their learning and to grow their relationship. We know Mentor 2.0 works, and we've seen the results. A few years ago, Michelle was doing well in her class until she began missing school. Her grades plummeted, and by the middle of her sophomore year, it was doubtful she would graduate, much less fulfill her dreams of going to college. Her mentor saw her struggling, and during a heart-to-heart conversation, learned that Michelle's mom had been diagnosed with a serious illness. Michelle was missing school to take her mom to the doctor, to her doctor appointments and care for her. Michelle kept this a secret because she didn't want people to feel sorry for her. Big Sister Kristen praised Michelle during that conversation and praised her for her strength and caring and helping her to understand that she didn't have to carry this heavy burden herself. Michelle talked with her teachers, made a plan to get back on track, and became the first in her family to graduate high school. And today, Michelle attends college to become a teacher and credits her big sister for helping her get there. One mentor, one conversation, one changed life. Just last year, Lewis became the first in his family to go to college. Natalie will also be the first in her family to go to college. She's majoring in engineering. JR graduated high school and is studying auto mechanics at Pima Community College, first in his family to go to college. We have so many stories of kids like these who are fulfilling their potential because a mentor showed them the way. They could do anything with hard work and belief in themselves. We are asking Tucson Rotary to support the launch of our Mentor 2.0 at Sunnyside and Tucson High Schools and Apollo Middle School. Kids in these schools desperately need our help. At Sunnyside, there is only one college and career counselor for 2,245 kids. At Tucson High School, there's only 2 college and career counselors for 3,400 students. These students need a mentor to help them along the way. The work we do is deep, long-lasting, and effective. We create generational change through mentorship, and we can't do this work without you. I know this group appreciates and understands the effect of mentoring, and with your support, we can make a meaningful, lasting impact on our kids. We hope this partnership will include Rotarians participating in career days and other activities with us, and our students will participate in your community projects. As a partner, Big Brothers Big Sisters is committed to helping Rotary have the most successful car show ever. Thank you.
Does everyone have a ballot at their table? If you would now vote, we would appreciate that. And then Lynette and Hugh will pick up the ballots. We will then take them and count them and give you a report. David, you can't vote twice, please. I think you're up now.
What's that? Yes, please. So while people are voting and ballots are being collected, is sitting in for Jim Murphy is Leo Liskey is signing the book By Giving, which obviously everybody knows goes into the Make Way for Books library. And next up, it's the birthday girl. So let's see. Lynn DeVoe's birthday is on the 28th of this month. She joined us in March of 2020. Metro Medical Billing is her business. But something that you did not know about Lynn, get this. She was a shot girl at a local bar where she lived in South Lake Tahoe. I can see that happening. Lynn, happy birthday.
Give me a mic. I'm a woman of very few words. I want to thank Mary Ann Freitas as my sponsor. My mentor, and Ann Marsh, who's now in Valley Verde, as my sponsor. And more important than my birthday, I am celebrating 6 years cancer-free. And I mention that because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's pretty important to me. I have 2 checks, one for scholarship and one for the Paul Harris Foundation. Thank you.
And congratulations. Next, new member introduction, Matt Blair. Come on up. Sears Visual Communication, Colorado State University.
Go
Do they play? Oh, that's right. That's not the Buffaloes. So
No, not
go ahead and take care of it, Matt.
Thank you all, and I can't even wait to introduce Jim to you. Jim's been a really great friend, one of my best friends for over 20 years. He taught me how to surf when I was 30 years old in Mazatlan, and that was some time ago. Jim's been an entrepreneur his whole life. He grew up in a family who owned McDonald's, and they were the ones who built the dinosaur at Grant and Tanque Verde back in the day. And so he's owned water companies. He's been part of McDonald's. Right now he's involved in real estate. He's donated his time and been involved in our community forever. He was the chairman of the board that helped bring the Better Business Bureau back to life some time ago. I can tell you, for those who have deep faith, so does Jim, and he knows the Bible really well, and he leads a Bible study group to help others decipher the words there. And he just became a dad, so I can let you tell him, he can tell you about that, but without further ado, Jim Garrett.
Thank you. Well, Matt did a pretty good job of telling you about my background. I don't know if you can, I'm not very good at speaking into mics. Can you all hear me okay?
No, you got to go in the mic.
Got to go in the mic? All right. I tend to blow people away when I do that, but it's just been a privilege to know Matt. He's been talking to me about joining Rotary for years, and I'm one of those folks, I don't like to commit to something until I can go all in, and I had to finish off some other things I had going on in my life first. So it's a delight to be here to hear about things like these 3 groups today that are really right in line with what I'm wanting to do in my life and the passion that I have, which is boiled down to 3 words my wife and I use as our guiding principles: make a difference, which we try to do every day. I'm doing it in my own personal life right now. Matt mentioned at the age of 55, I'm a first-time dad, right? And I did that by adopting an 11-year-old girl out of the foster care system. She will officially be ours December 1. So we're real excited about that. We've also already adopted my wife's Down syndrome brother, and I've got my mom with Alzheimer's working with us, living with us. So we have quite a full house. But I really believe in that kind of hands-on giving back to the community. The 2 passions I'm working on now, and I'll be real brief before Matt gives me the yank, are, number one, I'm working with a new nonprofit to help kids that are aging out of the foster care system find housing. The statistics that I learned in becoming a foster parent about what happens to those kids are horrifying. So I'm working with a group, we're called Adonai's Arms. We're right on the brink of being awarded the first ever contract in the state of Arizona to provide 150 units of housing to these kids. So that's number one. Number two, I'm also very passionate about, and it's already been spoken about today, housing affordability is becoming such a big problem here. I'm in real estate. It's been very good to me. I now want to do something a little more with that by repurposing some of the old rundown properties in Tucson and turning them into affordable housing. We've got old rundown motels that have gone bust because of COVID. Terrific opportunity to create some new affordable housing in our community. So anyway, those are a couple of passions I'm working on. I'd love to talk to anybody about McDonald's if you want. My family was in the movie The Founder, if you've seen that. We're mentioned in there a couple times. We were the original owners of the dinosaur McDonald's. That was my nephew's idea. I can tell you the backstory on that. It's kind of funny. My grandfather was the guy that Ray Kroc was on a sales call for when he met the McDonald brothers. So we go all the way back to the very beginning. So anyway, that's enough about me. Look forward to working with all of you to help do some more good in the community.
You know, you need to be a little bit more passionate. You're going to have to work on that just a little bit. So next up, Paul Harris presentation. Charlotte Harris. You're already front and center. Thank you, Charlotte.
Today we recognize two members who are each receiving their Paul Harris Fellow +3. They're wearing their new pins with 3 sapphires. The Paul Harris Fellowship recognition is Rotary International Foundation's way of expressing its appreciation for contributions of $1,000 or more to its humanitarian and education programs. And Rotarians don't only give their resources, what makes it work is that every project is led by local Rotarians and Rotary volunteers, which is true of every donation received, including the over $35,000 that our club gave collectively to the Relief Fund for Ukraine. Jim Lubinsky joined the Rotary Club of Tucson in 2003 after having moved to Tucson from Naperville, Illinois the previous year with his wife Karen, son Jeff, and daughter Nicole. Karen is retired after a career in advertising and is enjoying their new home in Quail Creek in Green Valley. Jeff got married this summer to Kristen and is director of coins for PWCC in Portland, although like many, he works remotely from their home in Denver. Incidentally, Jim and Jeff share ownership of a 1970 Corvette 454, which they have shown at the last 3 car shows. Unfortunately, the family lost Nicole in 2018, and they miss her dearly. Jim retired this summer after 20 years as the CFO for Bookmans. At present, he is working hard on his golf game and looking for the right volunteer activities in the new community. He's already a member of the Finance Committee for the Quail Creek Property Owners Association. When Jim joined our club, he had 2 missions. First, to get involved in the community, and the second, to make friends. He's happy to say that he's accomplished both of these goals and thoroughly enjoys being a member of our club. Jim was our club president from 2012-2013, president of our club foundation 2016 to 2019, and our Centennial Committee chair. He expresses his support of our International Foundation by sharing, quote, "Donating to the Rotary Foundation allows me to leverage my donations with a worldwide reach of Rotary to make a difference both locally through our district grant program and globally via all of the various outreach programs serving those in need around the world," unquote. Jim, congratulations, and thank you for your continued support. Mike Segarra and his wife Lynn have been married for 51 years and have 2 sons, Eric and Brad, who both live and work in Northern California. Mike graduated from the Illinois State University. He retired in 2017 from the pharmaceutical industry after serving 43 years. He joined our club in 2010 and says thank you to his sponsor Richard White and his mentor Jim Murphy. Mike has volunteered for the American Red Cross for over 30 years, and for the last 13 has served as their public information officer for Southern Arizona chapter. He is the volunteer partner to Melody Burkett Regional Communications Director with responsibilities for communications and public affairs for Arizona and New Mexico, as well as onboarding and training new communications volunteers. Mike also deploys virtually, monitoring social media during disasters. His outside interests include being an amateur photographer and astronomer. Since Mike turned 17, he's given over 5 gallons of blood and had to stop due to medication, but is now allowed to give again. As with each of our club's blood drives, Mike gave again today. He shares that 62% of the population are eligible to give blood, but only 3% do so. He shares that each unit of blood collected has a potential to impact 3 lives. Brooke Wagner said it succinctly in her video played at our Rotary a couple of weeks ago. You can give money, but when you give blood, you're giving life. When asked why he donates to Rotary International programs, Mike replies, I was raised to share my time, talent, and treasures to help others. Congratulations, and thank you for your continued support, Mike. And now for our extra recognitions, it seemed appropriate to go to Bookman's. For Jim, as both he and Karen are now retired, though they just got back from an overseas trip, it's time to have some time to travel in Arizona. So we have a copy of a guide to unknown places in Arizona titled Off the Beaten Track. For Mike, who shares the interest in astronomy, we have a copy of National Geographic's Backyard Guide to the Night Sky. Please join me in congratulating our newest Paul Harris Fellows.
Congratulations, you two. Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
I didn't lose
How
my
much
cue
how
this
much
time.
money how much money do we have now?
A boatload.
A boatload.
A boatload, yeah. I don't know what a boatload is, but it's somewhere over $1,150. So that's what we have in the pot, ladies and gentlemen. And I have the King of Clubs, which is still in the deck, which you will see me put into the deck. There were oohs and ahs there, all right? All right, I'm going to have birthday girl pick the winning card. Don't look at it, though. Don't give. Well, you can look at it, but don't tell. All right. And I'll let our newest member pick the winning ticket.
Don't blame me if you don't get it.
We're going to blame you if you don't win. All right. And I will read it. The winner is 153260. 153260. Jim Lubinsky. So the
on his
biggest
way to his next Paul Harris.
Yeah, exactly. The biggest question was, did you get that book on credit or on actual cash, Charlotte? Did you use Bookman's credit? Because he needs to. No, he doesn't need to know anymore because he doesn't care. He doesn't work there. But he had the 2 club. So you get $30 that's in my pocket right now, and I'll gladly give it to you afterwards. I have one other thing. 2 tickets to the game on Saturday. Selling points, great seats. The seats have backs. The beer is cold. The team is going to win against Colorado. The seats are good. And the game starts at 6:30. I know, like some of you guys like, oh, wait, doing the calculation, 9 o'clock
What are you
bedtime.
gonna start at,
I
like
can make that.
$500?
What's that?
Are you starting at $500?
No. I wish we lived in Alabama. No, I don't. I like Tucson a lot. Interested in the game. $100. They're great seats. Saturday, 6:30. $100 right there to Mr. Lowell. $125. 100 go at once.
Maybe we should get Matt Blair up here to, like the.
Oh, easy, yeah. I'll let him do the next one. All right, Mr. Lowell, we will get you your tickets for $100. And also, folks, if you don't have your Rotary Service shirts yet, they are fabulous. See Mr. Wong after the meeting. You need to get one. We have a car show coming up in a couple weeks. You need to be wearing your shirt. You need to get one. All right, back to you.
Thank you. in case some of you haven't picked up on it, is we happen to have a blood drive going on today. And the good news for those of you that have not donated yet is it's going on until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So right after this meeting, you can go out there and you can donate. So appreciate everything that you've done on that, Mike. As Jen, before I turn it over to Jen Hoffman for an announcement, is I also wanted to make a comment because I think that, there were hands that went up too quickly, and that was last week, Bobby Larson told us that Conrad Plinton was willing to commit $5,000 toward the car show, but we needed a $5,000 match. Bobby is donating $2,500 toward that $5,000. There was about 12 or 13 hands that went up that we got the names on, but we've got about, I believe, a dozen, 10. So we've got 10 spots that didn't get filled. So if I can, I'd like to ask if there's anybody that might be willing to contribute an additional $100, and if so, if you'd raise your hand or stand up so we can actually take that information down. Is there anybody that's willing to contribute? Okay, stand up so therefore Dorina can see who all is participating. What do you want them to do, Dorina? See you after the meeting?
Go see Dorina after the meeting. That
Yep.
might be the easiest. She doesn't have her reader glasses on.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much for that support. So, Jen, you want to come on up? As we've got a blue badge presentation.
It's been a minute since I've been up here. I have the distinct privilege today of presenting a blue badge to Sandra Johnson. She's a real estate agent with Indy Realty. She's originally from Eugene, Oregon. She's a huge sports fan, and she's co-chair to the Arizona Bowl Blue Blazers. I have really enjoyed getting to know her, and if you guys haven't had the opportunity, I highly encourage you to. She's an amazing person, and she's getting her blue badge today before Ray.
And we have another blue badge presentation. I wonder who the next person is that's getting their blue badge. But Don Rollins, will you come up and take care of that introduction?
Friends and Rotarians, today I have the pleasure of presenting a blue badge to Ray Smith, the husband of Sandra Johnson. They together share a family membership in our club. These are things that I would say about Ray. I've had the opportunity to get to know him over the last few months. 3 words that came to my mind this morning are talented, committed, and let's see, lucky to be married to Sandra.
Agreed.
That's what he said. Ray has done many things in his life. He was in the Air Force for 22 years. He served with Raytheon for 16 years. He's had extensive international travel, brings a lot of experience to our club, and a huge commitment. Whenever I meet with Ray, that's clearly demonstrated to me, and I appreciate that. He looks forward to the car show. 2 last things I would say about my new friend Ray is that when he applied on his membership application, there are some questions at the end. One of them was to comment about a major accomplishment in his life. There were 2 words, my daughters. The last question is what would surprise other people to know about you? Do you remember what you said? 3 words, and I quote, I cannot dance. My good friend, Ray Smith.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, Bruce.
Yes, sir.
Real quick. Bobby Larson's already started that list for those of you guys supporting the Steel Band. So if you could go to him and not Darina, because she's has enough to do. I think, no, she has enough to do. And add me to that list, Bobby, please. All right, great, thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. Dr. Wong, is there anything that you're hawking today? Thank you, Doctor. Next up, car show extraordinaire, Bobby Larson. And I do want to mention something while they're coming up here is, and you'll hear me talk about this time and time again, is for those of you, if you're connected on Facebook as far as with the car show and or the Rotary page, is when you see posts, don't just like them, please share them with your sphere. It's a way that we're able to get information out there across the community and hopefully attract some more great members like yourself. So, Bobby Larson.
Okay, Chuck, you're up first.
Doesn't say Chuck's on the agenda.
Oh, come on now. Thank you, President Bruce. Hey, the good news is the site prep at the Gregory School is almost done. We have one more cleanup day before we start the actual setup for the show. That's coming up this Saturday. We already have a good group, over 20 people coming out to help. We'd like a few more, so if your Saturday morning opened up from 7:30 to 11:30, if we get a few more folks, we'll be done earlier. We're cleaning up on site, get there 7:15. It's the final cleanup that we're doing, and at the Gregory School, just join us 7:15. Use online, go to, Marcy Euler did a phenomenal job working, and the team has done a great job of getting an online sign-up. So if you go to the website for the car show and go to volunteers, click on volunteers. You can volunteer for anything. It gets you notifications. It's a great system. Use it and join us. Thank you all.
I'm a little shorter. Okay, I am Marcy today, just in case you were wondering. She's busy right now with something else. You know, this is a remarkable club, and I really want to say that one of the things that makes it so remarkable is what we did today, and that is that you all were involved in selecting the next group of people that we're going to be raising money for. That's because we're active people. We're not check writing people. Well, some checks here and there. But this is your opportunity to have the most fun and the biggest bang for your buck in participating and volunteering in the car show. It is so much fun. Those are 3 days that are absolutely brilliant. So Chuck just said how easy it is to volunteer. We have a little bit of shift in people that were coming. The JTED group are filling holes, but they're not allowed to do parking anymore. And they were our biggest support. So parking is really cool because you get to see all these cool cars. Slotting is my favorite, and women, I hope you come out because there's some very sexy cars on the field. Well, people too. And then the helping with the parking is just really a fun job because you get to greet people, you get to see what they're doing, you get to see whole families and kids come in to be able to see our car show. We've got over 400 cars. Each one is a treasure. So please go in, grab that. Don't be afraid to ask your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, your father and mother, children, aunts, uncles, neighbors, the grocery store clerk, whatever. The hard work is done in selling tickets. The reward is volunteering at the show that day. It is so much fun. So please, volunteer. Let's fill up the things. And thank you for those who already have. Get another job, too. You can at least have 2 or 3 a day.
All right, finally, just to take care of a couple of housekeeping things, I just want to make sure all of you know that all tickets and Classic Club tickets bought online must be purchased by October 7th if you want those tickets mailed out. So October 7th for that. And then October 12th is the last date of online ticket sales if you're using the auto entry. So that's the housekeeping part that I know is very exciting for all of you. All right. Secondly, I wanted to go over the PowerPoint with you all. I want you to see that still we're a little low,
But basically, we're right about where we want to be. That's what it's been most years. So now is the time to really kick it in gear. We need everybody to get involved, help us cross that finish line and achieve our goal. So we got 2 weeks and 3 days, and then we will be car show day, all right? So really kick in those ticket sales, and I wanted to also go over this with you all. We have all these members that have sold 49.9 tickets. If Michael is here, Cindy, Arnie, or Jeff, if any of you are here, please stand up. Great, all right, we'll go on. All right, we also got the people that are, Wes Wiggins was there also, and then the 100 to 249, you can see Marcy Euler, she's not here, but Ben Hawkins, I got to work with him this week up at the Run to the Pines. They've jumped up to the 100 to 249 tickets. Bruce Tunzi and John Wong. And John, you can stand up and everybody's going to give you a hand right here. All right, good job. And then finally, the last group that we've got is for 250 up to 999 tickets. We've got 3 newcomers, and I know Curtis is here, and I know Mark is here, and Wayne Wood, he's up in Pine Top, and he nailed it because he was selling tickets at the Run to the Pines, and it went really well. So, yeah, yeah. But please, Curtis and Mark, if you would please stand up, give them a hand. Thank you very much. So let's make these last 2 weeks really count, and let's cross the finish line strong. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Hey, Bobby, will you stay there for just 1 minute because I need you as a display. So I was going to announce this in a few minutes, but you know, in July when the police chief was here, we did a blue out, and then obviously we did a red out for the coach last week. Well, as Lynn mentioned, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And on the 12th of October we have Ginny Clements is going to be our speaker, talking about her own personal journey with having survived breast cancer. So we're going to be having a pink out. And so I want to tell all the men in this room that if you do not own a pink shirt, you have a couple of weeks to be able to go out and buy one. So Bobby, thank you. Bobby will be selling shirts in the back of the room. So, but thank you. Remember, pink out on the 12th. Next up, now we're going to find out about the results from the charity selection.
However, since it's at the tail end of the car show report, we're going to do a training for slotting after the meeting, the Wednesday before the car show. After our meeting, we'll be doing a slotting training, and then the Saturday before the car show at around 10:30 at the Gregory School, we'll do a training on slotting as well. So I hope you'll be there. Well, the results are in, and we've selected Pima Community College Foundation as our grantee for next year. And Old Pueblo Community Services and Big Brothers had almost the exact same number of votes. So they were very close, but there was a decided victory, or that's not the right way to say, decided selection for Pima Community College. Anything else?
You know, I'll tell you the presentations that all 3 of them did. I think it's real easy to see that all 3 of them are very deserving, and I don't know how close the results were, but you know, there was no bad outcome. All right, just a few things to take care of wrapping up. First, I want to thank everybody for being here, both our guests as well as those of you that might have turned in virtually. If you don't regularly donate to the scholarship cups, which are on the table, if you have some extra money that you can throw in there, that would be great. Want to thank those of you that have been donating on my Miles for Memory. Next week I'll be giving you the update to see whether I actually was keeping up with my goal or if I was sloughing off. Remember to return your badges. So Lynn, happy birthday. Welcome to the club, Jim, Mike, and Jim Lubinsky. Congratulations on your Paul Harris. And to Sandra and Ray for your blue badges. Next week is Bobby Larson again. No, but it is, you know, we're down to the closing minutes on the car show. There's a lot of details that need to be gone over. If you haven't signed up, please do so. It's always that's always a fun meeting, so make sure you turn out. Now, if you'll stand for a toast. Days like today remind me why we all became Rotarians. We become Rotarians because we want to do things for our community and globally. To be of service to those in need, we become Rotarians to expand our network both professionally and personally. Through the work we do with the Tucson Classics Car Show, we achieve both of these goals. We build great friendships working together to serve our community. A special thanks to the work for the Grants Committee and all you do in helping making Tucson a better place. Hear, hear. We're adjourned.